Yeah, look, I've got a CD-ROM over here, which basically I made back in the year 2007. And I guess many of you might still not have a CD-ROM drive anymore. Modern computers rarely come with one. Mine luckily still does have one. But look at this here. I think this one is definitely much more difficult to read because, well, who's got a floppy disk drive these days? And I mean, if the data were stored on those two, important data were stored, then of course this would probably not be accessible anymore. As a matter of fact, even CD-ROM drives, even if we have one, over time the CD-ROMs actually degrade and they become broken because the oxygen in the air starts to oxidize the CD-ROM and then chemically breaks it down. And this basically means that the data that's stored in those media essentially will become lost over time. And for example, over here I do have also an external hard disk. If you drop it, then of course you also damage the hard disk, and also the data might be lost. So yeah, the data that we have right now these days is not very stable in that sense. And of course, what I'm kind of have been wondering up to this point is what about future generations? If in 200 years, 500 years, maybe even 1,000 years, what would those future generations actually know about our current civilization that we have? Because most of the information of the data that we generate is actually stored digitally on those media, and those media will not be readable anymore in the future. So it's a very unstable storage medium. So I'm kind of wondering if our current civilization that we have right now, well, maybe it will be forgotten in the future, because there is absolutely no way that we can pass on our current knowledge to future generations. But the situation becomes yet a little bit more interesting because just a few days ago, OpenAI released the software Sora 2, which is a video generating app. So you basically you type in a text prompt, and then the app will generate a video. Right, and I've seen many memes that have been released, but also with historical figures like Martin Luther King Jr., for example, and they changed around the speech that he said. It's pretty humorous and funny. But then, if you think about that, I mean, this looks very realistic, and I kind of wonder if future generations, if they actually do find still some media around, would they even be able to distinguish what actually happened and what was actually AI and what was real? Will basically the memory of our current time be determined by essentially AI videos that have been invented? And will they in future generations then think that this is basically what really happened during our times now? So this is a little bit an interesting question that I have. It's as interesting and as fun as all of those AI videos might be. I mean, they do have a pretty strong potential not only to mislead other people nowadays, deep fakes and so on, where you put in other people's faces into a video and make them say things that they normally probably would not have said. I mean, that's one thing, right? But if you look long term a little bit, I wonder if future generations might not get a wrong impression of our current civilization, because simply the videos and all of the data that we have, might not be either not accessible anymore, or it might have been modified or simply invented using AI technology. Well, these are just some thoughts that I have. Let me read in the comments. Let me hear from you in the comments. All the best. Bye bye.